What's up, everybody? GemMint here, San Diego Comic-Con 2022 on the last day, on Sunday. Now, I wanted to do this tour with Ant, the owner of PCS, but scheduling conflicts wouldn't allow it, so I found this guy on the showroom floor, Comic Tom.
I used to be into statues, but since my cats started knocking them down, I fell out of it. But watching so much of your content, I'm creeping back in.
I'll tell you what, PCS does 1/3 scale statues. I don't think Kombat will be able to knock those down. Let's take a quick tour and see what they got on display.
Let's do it.
Before we continue, I want to thank That Spider-Man Booth for sponsoring this video. Make sure you're following them over on Whatnot for daily live comic book auctions. You could win CGC key issues and get some great exclusive variants from their sister site, Street Level Hero. If you haven't, you can download Whatnot in the link in the description. It'll actually give you a $10 credit that you can use towards your first purchase.
First, we're going to look at the PCS Mega Man X from the video game series. Now, personally, I was never a Mega Man guy growing up. I was really into Mario.
What?
You were into Mega Man?
Dude, I love Mega Man. NES, SNES, one of the best games to play over and over again to perfect your button clicking abilities.
And like which boss that you go to first and all that. Now, PCS did a really incredible job on the paint here. If you look closely, it's got a candy paint similar to what they use for cars. Really crazy on the paint application in this huge chamber. Again, I'm not familiar with Mega Man. I'm not sure where this comes into play in the game, but we're gonna look at some other pieces here that I am familiar with. Now, behind Mega Man, we can see the American Psycho Christian Bale in quarter scale.
Christian Bale looks so real, and this is such a classic. But you know what? I'm a Jared Leto fan. So whenever I think of this, I think of Jared Leto. So I think we have another statue that needs to get made.
You got the mixed media elements with the clothing and the base that matches Michael Myers and other horror-themed pieces from PCS. One of my most anticipated pieces, because as you know, I'm building a 1/3 scale collection, is Wolverine. Now, it's not the first time it's been showcased, but it has gone through some alterations since then. If you look closely at the costume, you can see the texture is much more pronounced, and they did do some tweaking on the head. Collectors felt it was too circular and too round, so now it has a little bit more of a natural look. Now, Tom, if you had to guess where this iteration of Wolverine is from, could you put a finger on it? That's exactly my point. So this is based on the Gamerverse line.
But what trick questions here?
But what I love about that is you wouldn't necessarily know that. It can be any Wolverine. It looks like a comic Wolverine, but if you're a fan of the game, if you're a fan of the comics, it kind of works both ways.
I like my Wolverine. Short, stocky, brooding.
Hairy.
This is Harry Logan. This is what I want to see. Harry Logan.
Now, this is more of my speed. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. 1/3 scale, Melina and Jade. Now, they did already release a Melina and Katana a while back, but the Jade came out so beautiful, so much more detailed, that PCS is going with all three women again. Are you a Mortal Kombat fan?
I love Mortal Kombat. I'm terrible at fighting games, but whenever I'm on the phone scripting with GemMint, this guy is button smashing on his arcade 1-up.
In between takes, I'm playing Mortal Kombat.
I can hear it.
So we have Melina. She looks awesome. There are different head sculpts. Right now it's masked. They do have one showing her Tarkatan teeth. And then you have Jade here. I love the translucency on her bow staff and that kind of pinkish tone to it.
The bases look fantastic.
They companion with each other, so you have that similar base. She has the green sludge. Melina has the blood. It's translucent as well with bones. Amazing pieces. Now, something that PCS has been doing really well is getting those movie licenses. Rocky. Not only do we have Rocky Balboa, we have Ivan Drago and Apollo Creed from Rocky 4. Easily the best Rocky, in my opinion.
Jem hit me up. He's like, I have to get this statue so I can start boosting myself up before I hit the mic.
Now, what PCS does so well is give you multiple choices of which iteration you want from the movie. So as you can see, you have Apollo Creed when he's coming out, right before he gets, unfortunately, killed by Ivan Drago. And you can see on the back with the robes on. We're gonna swing around and take a closer look at those as well. Now, I always think it's hard to capture movie likeness, man. With comic books, there's always that artist interpretation. You can get away with certain things. You can't get away with Sylvester Stallone. But I think they did an amazing job with the likeness and for Ivan Drago as well.
If he dies, he dies.
Now, even though PCS seems to be focusing more on the 1/3 scale, they are relaunching their quarter scale Mortal Kombat line with one of my favorite characters, the original Sub-Zero, resurrected as Noob Saibot. What do you think about this with Noob Saibot and his shadow counterpart?
Absolutely stunning. The contrast, the base, and the background overflowing from behind, powerful.
The background really makes it. I love how this is like a diorama. It's one character, but it's two characters in one. I want to say it's from Mortal Kombat X. That's what it looks like. Don't quote me. Do I have room for a quarter scale Mortal Kombat line? I don't know, man.
You're gonna have to get a new house, Jim.
All right, now a line that I'm most looking forward to is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Legend line by PCS in 1/3 scale. We've got Raphael, he's all painted and it looks amazing. The glossiness, the sliminess, he looks like an actual turtle. And Ant made sure that they weren't gonna be too big for collectors' displays. They won't go deeper than 15 inches and they're crouched down, so the height isn't really too bad either. We got Donatello here, unpainted. Would love to see what he looks like when he does get painted, but I'm loving the sculpt so far. Actually has a little bit of a smaller footprint than Raph.
I think this is what you were talking about. This is the kind of statue I think I may feel a little bit more comfortable to own, because I don't think Butch the Kamikaze can knock this beast of a turtle over.
Butch is gonna have to be getting his push-ups in if he wants to knock these bad boys down.
He's gotta start working out with you.
Now we mentioned 1/3 scale, we mentioned quarter scale. PCS does also offer 1/6 scale characters. Now this is also from the Gamerverse line, but again, it just looks like Cap. I don't really correlate that this is a video game version. You got the Ultron base with translucent resin for the explosions and this awesome dynamic pose.
You know what I love about this one? Statues can be really expensive for good reason. This one's a $500 statue, way more affordable than some other pieces. It's a good intro. I mean, like the first Avenger. Can't go wrong.
And lastly, this was a total surprise. I don't know how Ant surprises anybody because he teases so much on his Facebook group, the PCS Facebook group, and his own personal page. But the 1/3 scale Black Panther, perfect timing, Wakanda Forever trailer just dropped. Shout out to Namor. And this piece is huge with this Wakandan throne.
This is easily my favorite piece on this entire set.
You can see he has the Black Panther mask, but down here you have an unmasked portrait doing T'Challa with the braids. I'm digging it. Huge presence. This thing has got to be almost 40 inches tall.
Having a piece like this as the center of a collection is a statement. Wakanda Forever.
All right, guys, and that is the PCS tour. It's not the biggest booth, but it packs a lot of punch, man. A lot of what I like to collect, the scale, the licenses, the characters. What do you think, Tom?
Oh, this is really cool, man. So much color, so many artistic versions of characters that really harness what you remember when you experience these films and these shows and these video games.
And that's what I love about the Rocky line. You don't necessarily have to be a statue collector. You could just be a Rocky fan or have a movie theater room or whatever, and this would look great in there. Great job from PCS. Shout out to Ant and Mark. Gonna see you guys at New York, and everyone else,
Geek responsibly.
stay minty fresh.
DJ Links.